Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now. Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, previewing the opening round of the 2014 NBA playoffs. And right now we're going to cover the Wizards and the Bulls. Joe, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, give a quick plug for OffshoreInsiders.com before we get into this series. Finally, one with a competitive spread, competitive odds.
Yeah, 27 years in the business. Not only are we doing great in baseball already early in the season, but we've had many great NBA postseasons, and that's because the parameters change a little bit how to handicap in the postseason. We'll break it down in the analysis segment at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Okay, Wizards and Bulls, the 4-5 matchup in the East. The Bulls have home court advantage in the series, and the Bulls are minus 190 currently at 5 dimes to win the series. Washington is plus 165 on the other side, and Washington was a little bit of a good bet on the year. They were 43, 38, and 1 against the spread, and the Bulls give, they're a very well coached team. They give a ton of effort. Not sure if they're going to be able to do one of those playoff leaps though, if they have the talent to take a step up in the playoffs, as some teams do. Washington, though, they're kind of a little bit of a head case team. They're kind of not very well coached. They tend to be inconsistent. So I wouldn't want to bet them unless I was getting the big underdog odds, but you're getting plus 165 here. Is that big enough? I'm not exactly sure. What's your take on these odds?
Now, I'm not a big fan of teams like Washington that play that frenetic pace. That's why if I were an owner of an NBA franchise, Mike D'Antoni I would not even consider hiring him. I think that Washington is a perfect example of a team that's built much more for the regular season than the postseason, because in the postseason, it becomes more of a half-court game. Points are so much tougher to come by, where playing the up-tempo pace, they can catch teams being a little lackadaisical on defense during the regular season. But now Washington, I think, is really going to struggle with the defensive intensity going up. The Bulls, and here's a very interesting statistic, but the Bulls, as far as teams that are in the playoffs playing other playoff teams during the regular season, they rank #1 defensively. Now, I've said in a lot of the videos we've done, at times you can outthink yourself by simply looking at matchups. You can overplay them. I always say the more talented team seems to match up well against the less talented team, but I think this is a perfect matchup, more so because of the style of play, where Chicago plays that grinding style that wins in the postseason. Washington plays that up-tempo style, where they're going to face more intense defenses. I'm just not a fan of the Washington Wizard Bullets at all. Chicago will win this series.
All right, and you're getting a pretty competitive line here, right? Minus 190 is not a big price to pay for a team you think has a big edge in a series in the NBA playoffs.
No, and they are. And since January 1st, Chicago won an Eastern Conference best 36 games, 36-16 straight up. Remember, they had to deal with more than their share of injuries, most importantly losing Derrick Rose, where that was both a mental and a physical adjustment that they had to make. But, Chicago, they now know what they are. As you said, Tom Thibodeau, an excellent coach. He's considered to be possibly the best X's and O's guy in the NBA, so I think he can slow down Washington's 1-2 punch with Beal and Wall. Yeah, 190 is not too bad of a price.
All right, Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com recommending a little bit of value with the Bulls to win the series against Washington at minus 190. Thanks so much, Joe.